And coming up a little bit later here on the Nightbeat, we will show you a new way to teach children to stay safe from stranger danger. It's a story you'll see only on Channel 3.
After 3 days, stuck 240 feet underground, 9 Pennsylvania miners are getting used to life on the outside once again after their miraculous rescue. Today, several of the miners shared their story of survival. I'm sorry about that. That's the wrong videotape. Those are airport screeners at Bradley International Airport. They had the last day on the job today. We'll have more on that story coming up. Can we get the report on the miners? Do we have that tape? We don't have that. Okay. We'll have that for you hopefully very soon. It's an interesting story. We know you want to hear it, so stay tuned. Dennis?
Out in Oregon right now, Denise, more than 250,000 acres are burning as several fires rage across that state. In southern Oregon, thousands of people are waiting to see what will happen to their homes. They've been evacuated from the Black Butte Ranch Resort, where the Cache Mountain fire has already destroyed 2 homes and damaged 2 others. In all, it has burned almost 4,000 acres since it started on Wednesday. Officials say that fire was started by lightning.
Ukraine's top prosecutor says pilot error and poor planning are likely behind the world's worst air show disaster. A military jet plowed into spectators Saturday during that show, killing 83 people and injuring more than 100. The prosecutor says the jet had been flying too low and that show organizers should not have allowed stunts to be performed right over the crowd.
Pope John Paul II is in Central America tonight. The frail leader of the Roman Catholic Church arrived in Guatemala earlier tonight after several days in Canada. The purpose of the Pope's visit is to canonize a saint, a Spanish missionary who helped Guatemalans back in the 1600s.
Now that story on the screeners at Bradley International Airport. Starting tomorrow, travelers at Bradley will see some new faces screening the luggage there. New federal employees are taking over. Today, 180 screeners got their walking papers today. While they can reapply for their jobs, many told us they will not qualify. The new aviation security law passed after September 11th calls for all federal screeners to have either a high school diploma or 1 year of full-time security work. They must also be U.S. citizens and be proficient in English.
Do a credit check on us? They're going to do a background check on us? If we were good enough to do it before 9/11, which some of us were, why aren't we so good enough to do it after 9/11 or after now?
It's really tough. Since September 11th, we've got a lot of bad press that they're lazy, they're stupid, and this isn't the case. I've worked with these individuals who come in on their days off. They're always giving an extra mile. They're very supportive. They're a team. There's no I in it.
The screeners can reapply for their jobs tomorrow and Wednesday at the Springfield Sheraton. They'll take an assessment test there and learn right away whether they qualify for the new federalized position.
After 3 days stuck 240 feet underground, 9 Pennsylvania miners are now getting used to life on the outside once again after their miraculous rescue.
We've got our tapes together now. We can bring you that story. Here it is. It was the first time some of them had been out in the sunlight for days. Officially, their condition is tired and weak, but they're not complaining.
Great.
Fun.
Hungry.
Fun.
The only thing most are suffering from now is a change of heart about their job.
I mean, I got almost 30 years in it, and it's just too much. I got 7 grandkids. I want to see them guys grow up. That's it.
In the wee hours of Sunday morning, miracles were happening every 15 minutes as one miner after the other was brought to the surface alive.
And when I came out of the pit and looked around and seeing all them lights, just unbelievable how many people was there for all of us.
It started Wednesday night when some 240 feet below the surface, the miners accidentally drilled into an abandoned mine filled with water. It burst like a broken dam, turning their 4-foot crawl space into a pipe.
You cut 59 million gallon or whatever loose, it's got to go somewhere.
They had just seconds to make a choice, outrun the water or find high ground. The water made the choice for them, drowning every exit.
By the time we got to the bottom, it was already too full where we couldn't get out. The water had beat us to the bottom.
So while rescuers worked frantically to pump air down and water out, all the miners could do was wait and pray.
There was times me and my son-in-law, and we all got together, and I mean, that's the worst part. When we know we only had a certain time.
It put our families through a lot. I mean, it was hard on us, and it was, I think, harder on them.
And And still unanswered tonight is why the maps the miners were using were so inaccurate. So the state has now launched an investigation to prevent another brush with tragedy. And we have some breaking news out of Hartford on the edge of downtown. A piece of Connecticut history is going up in smoke right now. The historic Capewell factory is on fire. We hope to have a live report a little bit later on. A massive rescue effort today off the New England coast. Channel 3 is there as volunteers scramble to save dozens of beached whales on the shores of Cape Cod. That story straight ahead along with this report.
One of our biggest fears is to have our children lured away from us. But now there's a new way to teach our kids to be safe. I'm Sarah Barr with an I-Team report you'll only see on 3.
It is a warm and humid evening after a hot afternoon, and we've got some showers on Doppler 3000. I'll tell you all about it coming up.
Yep. You're watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News Nightbeat from the Fountain in downtown New Britain to Putnam to the place you call home. This is Connecticut's news station. Denise and I will be right back in 90 seconds.
You're watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News Nightbeat with Denise DeCinzo, Dennis House, Miles Muzio, and Joe Tessitore. This is Connecticut's news station.
A spectacular sight in Hawaii is lava from the Kilauea volcano is flowing down into the ocean.
Thousands of tourists have been flocking to the site to see the glowing lava. Some visitors have waxed poetic about the eruption, calling it the beauty of the earth being born. Locals say the show has not been this good in 7 years. And we have another remarkable story to tell you. This one about mankind coming to the rescue of dozens of these whales. 55 whales washed ashore on Cape Cod today, and while 9 of these pilot whales died, the rest were rescued by beachgoers. Channel 3's Kara Sundlun was the only Connecticut reporter who traveled to the Cape today, and she shows us what happened on a normally quiet beach in Dennis, Massachusetts.
The pilot whales got caught in the shallow waters off Cape Cod just after sunrise, each weighing about a ton, 18 to 25 feet long. The massive creatures needed the helping hands of humans. Soon, thousands started to fill CHAPIN Beach in Dennis. Families formed bucket brigades to help keep the stranded whales moist.
Well, it was pretty hard. We had a bunch of kids and a bunch of adults just passing buckets back and forth, trying to fill up water like crazy.
Try to keep them comfortable, keep quiet around them, and just watch them.
By late afternoon, high tide came and 46 of the stranded whales were able to swim away with help from rescuers, but 9 still died. Scientists from Mystic Aquarium say even the ones who lived could still be in danger.
But we really don't know why these mass strandings occur. But once an animal does strand, their body starts going through a physiological process that can impair their health.
The pilot whales travel in packs. Experts say it's possible one lone leader led all 55 whales into the shallow water.
But then they kept on flapping up and down and making splashes. They were very nervous, I think.
The experts say if it weren't for all the volunteers and their hours of help, they could have never saved as many whales as they did. In Dennis, Massachusetts, Kara Sundlun, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Did you know that on average 350 children are reported missing in Connecticut every month? In a story you'll see only on Channel 3, there's a new way to teach stranger danger here in our state, and it couldn't come at a better time. Stories about children being kidnapped and killed are grabbing all the national headlines. Channel 3's Sarah Barr shows us how a new film could help prevent a predator from grabbing your son or daughter.
Action!
These are not scenes from the next Hollywood blockbuster, but this is a film you and your kids should probably see. It's a new fantasy adventure called The Steel-Proof Master, and the spotlight is literally on keeping kids from being stolen.
It's a way of entertaining them while you're educating them. They don't even realize they're being educated.
We first met Richard Kohler 2 years ago, teaching child abduction safety classes in Glastonbury. He showed us how strangers trick kids into trusting them and lure them away. The consequences can be disastrous. Now Kohler is making that message into a movie.
And so we took these abduction lures and I created them into 10 individual characters, knowing that children will remember characters better than concept.
Director Taylor Warren is bringing that vision to the screen this fall and maybe to your child's classroom.
We use Connecticut locations, we use Connecticut talents, we use Connecticut crews, but the focus of the message is national, if not international.
That statement couldn't be more timely. Stories of child kidnappings and killings keep making news headlines, and this makes parents nervous.
I don't take for granted that, you know, they're going to be safe in my backyard.
Child safety experts want parents to take this one step further and get an ID kit done on their kids. That way, if he or she does disappear, the authorities will have updated, valuable information to help track down that child in those early critical hours. Sarah Barr, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Now, Connecticut's missing children include everything from runaways to custodial abductions to a stranger snatching a child. Statistically, though, child safety experts tell us stranger abductions are the least likely to happen.